Hello, everyone. Good morning. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, great. So we're supposed to have like almost close to 20 participants, 16, and now we have okay, somebody joining us still. Adrian cannot hear me. Can you hear me now, Adrian? The rest says yes. Okay, now can. Great. Okay, awesome. Okay, good morning to those who have just joined us. Thank you very much for joining us today and spending your Friday morning with me. I'm sure all of you have had a challenging time trying to finish up everything for the assessment boards to wrap up the semester, and also getting very excited with the new semester to begin. All right. So as a continuation on the modules that you have gone through for this particular set of training, I believe you know that this particular series is actually focusing on online teaching and learning, online courses, in particularly for micro-credentials, MOOCs, and so on. So building on that, we shall today look at what are the active learning strategies that we can use in online courses. So I'm pretty sure some of you have some kind of experience of taking a course online. It can be quite lonely at times because it's between you and the computer. And by that, I'm actually meaning courses which are more asynchronous. But now, well, with the pandemic and all, we do have courses which are run in also a synchronous manner. But sometimes it can get to one way, and you find that students can be disengaged because you are there talking and you're not sure whether the students are there with you, you're not sure whether they are learning, you're not sure if they really understood what you said, and so on, right? So what can we do to overcome all this? So the secret is to do active learning activities. And we shall find out today what is possible to do in the online learning environment. Okay? Well, as a formality protocol or what, I think I should introduce myself. My name is Michelle. I don't think I am new to you. I've seen many of your names and also perhaps faces before as well. So just a little bit about me if you are not sure who am I. I'm from the Penang campus. I am the head of Center for Pre-University Studies and also Department of Languages. So basically, I manage the foundation programs, the MPU courses, as well as the Common English courses. Apart from that, my first love is teaching, and that's why I'm here today with you, sharing some of the tips that I have used in my classroom and I hope will be beneficial to you. Right, so now let's hear from you. Right, so since there are not many of us, let's turn on your video and just do a little bit of introduction about yourself, which campus you are from and which school you are from, and what courses do you teach? Right. Pete Huan is very excited to start. Yeah, Pete Huan is got a really smiley face. Okay, Pete Huan, you start first.
I think Adrian on his webcam first. I thought Adrian go first. Never mind, since that you call my name already. Hi, my name is Pit Huan. I'm from Penang campus as well, from the Department of Computing. Then the subjects that I teach basically is just fundamental programming. So those year one students, they always see me for all the programming courses. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, Pit Huan. Right, Adrian.
Okay, hello, I'm Adrian. I'm from the UG campus under the School of Business, teaching more on the accounting papers, numbers, and all those. Yeah, okay. Yeah, welcome. Nice to meet you.
So, Adrian, are you Dr. Wong Su Cheong?
No. I'm not a doctor. I only got MBA, no doctor yet.
Okay. I because I see a name in my list, Dr. Wong Su Cheong, so I was wondering if it's you or not. Because I don't see any
Wong.
other Wong here. Okay.
No other Wong. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
So next on my screen here, next is actually Logeswari. Logeswari, turn on your video. Yay!
Okay, good morning. I'm Logis from UG campus, Glen Mary Shah Alam. I'm teaching finance subjects.
Finance. So you're in the same school as Adrian.
Yes, he's in front, I'm at the back.
Okay, right, great. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Hi, Shazana. You are next on my screen here.
Okay, hi, my name is Shazana. I'm from UG campus as well. I teach economics and statistics.
Okay, so also from the School of Business.
Yes. Sorry about that. I'm actually home with 2 sick babies.
I'm so sorry. Okay, thank you, Shazana, for taking the time to join us this morning.
Okay.
Right. Nalini?
Hi, morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, hi.
Can you turn on your video?
Yeah, I don't know why video is not. Okay. Okay,
awesome.
great.
Now I can see
Hi.
your beautiful face.
So I'm Nalini from School of Law, teaching law subjects from UG campus.
Okay, great. Nice to meet you. Right. We have Poon. Poon, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, this is Karen. Hi, Michelle Leong. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, actually, I'm also working from home because yesterday we have the exam board meeting. So many of us will take leave, just to clear the leave. So today I'm attending your online training from home. Actually, I'm taking leave. Okay. So nice to meet you, and thank you for sharing your knowledge, experience, and interesting strategies to engage with students.
Right, thank you for joining us, even though you're on leave. We actually appreciate your time with us.
Yeah, hopefully you can end it by noon time so I can go and buy my food.
Yeah, I know everybody is also getting excited because it's a school holiday, coming
but
up.
It's very short, Michelle. It's just about a few days. It's nothing fantastic.
I know, and with the Mid-Autumn Festival coming up, lots of celebration.
Yeah, that's right.
So Karen, what do you teach?
Well, because next semester we have the physical class. I just want to know if we have physical class, how do we engage student online? Can we blend online learning and physical class together?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah, that means I
Definitely.
have to ask the student to bring the computer lah, to the class.
Well, there are many ways of doing it. You can ask your students to bring the laptop with them, or in our courses, most of our courses, they should be a part that is asynchronous, where it's independent student learning time.
Mhm.
That's where we actually use our platform, Open Learning, to put some activities there that they can actually do online. I will be sharing with you some of the things that I have done before with my students. Well, this particular workshop that I'm doing today is more focused on online courses because it's actually in the series of the preparation for MOOCs and micro-credentials. Previously, this particular workshop was just active learning methods, and it's more based on physical face-to-face kind of a classes. But
Mhm.
because of this is actually in the series for MOOCs and micro credentials, therefore it is has been modified to suit that. But we will take note of that on how to, since now we are going back to physical and doing blended as well, we will do something in 2023 that will look into this particular aspect. Okay, Azim, I think you are there, right? So maybe you can note that down and tell your boss about it. Okay, so Karen, what subjects do you teach?
Business, next semester will be services marketing, business communications,
Okay.
and the other one is a foundation subject called Intro to Business.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
so what I found, because like I've been teaching the Penang subject for the past 2 years, almost every semester I have 2 Penang subjects, almost like every semester. So what I noticed is that Penang students a bit passive. Not so many of them are active, actually. Probably because of the distance. And yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, maybe you can use some of the ideas if you are teaching online for our Penang students next semester. Perhaps you might want to try some of these ideas.
One thing is that regarding the micro credentials and ODL, I'm thinking that if you have some like a bit of tools that we can actually introduce into ODLs, some guidelines or simple guidelines, like some kind of recommendations of tools that we can put in to the design of the ODL and micro credentials, because nowadays I find that the materials about the knowledge sharing management is not that solid, and it will be good if you have you can create a knowledge management database, or just a simple platform that tell us, if we do ODL and we do micro credentials, what are the tools? Like, for example, you can start from elementary, the simple one. So what are the tools that you can recommend here, to engage with student? Yeah. So I think that moving forward, it will be quite helpful, to maybe we improve 1% from there.
Okay.
I think it's quite good. Yeah.
Great, thanks for the feedback. We do actually, in fact, I myself was the one who ran the course on starting from scratch. How do you build the micro credential course? So which was actually part of this series as well. I'm not sure whether did you attend that session where I did on how do you start building the micro credential. And I did share some tools in the course. I did give an example of a micro credential that we have built and some of the tools that we found useful, and students seem to enjoy using it. So maybe I'll take note of the idea that you have given us on creating maybe more tools of a different level in probably next year's series.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you everyone for introducing yourself. Azim, would you like to introduce yourself? We have Pek Shin who has just joined us. Pek Shin, can you hear me? Hi, Pek Shin. Good morning, Pek Shin. Can you hear me?
Hi, Michelle. Michelle, I can hear you, but I have some problem with my earphone and mic.
Oh, okay. Never mind. You just come in the right time. It's your turn to introduce yourself. Can you
Okay,
tell
hi.
us about you and where you, which school you're from and what subjects you're teaching?
Hold on, just give me 2 minutes. I just change a new microphone.
Okay. TGIF plans. What is your TGIF
Hi.
plans? Hi, Pek
Hi,
Shin.
everyone. Hi, morning. Can hear better now?
Yep.
Okay, I changed to a earphone, so it's better.
Okay.
Okay,
Great.
hi, I am Pek Shin. I am from SHCCA UG. So I am teaching. I've been with SHCCA for many years, and I started teaching the front office classes and marketing classes, and now I fully only teach in events management elective subjects. So I have been doing just these major subjects for the past at least 4 years. Yes, so currently all my subjects are supposed to be a bit more on face-to-face subjects, because it's all like more practical subjects, because these are final year students, so it's more application-based subjects. And I find it this whole blended learning situation is a little bit not I'm finding ways to how to make it more I don't know, understandable or effective for the students if it is done virtually. So that's probably one of my intention in learning or wanting to learn about active learning strategies. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming to this session.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so I think everybody has introduced yourself. So Adrian, you want to tell us about your TGIF plan?
No. TGI Friday is jam. Cannot go anywhere. Saturday only first. Saturday first.
I think my TGIF plan is just go home and sleep, right?
Yeah.
But getting through the
Friday
jam
first.
today, especially with the school holiday, and I know that many people have started their what you call the Mid-Autumn Festival celebration. Oh well, next week is school holiday and also a week break before our semester starts. So I'm pretty sure many of you have got your plans as well. All excited about it, I hope. Okay, so let's start. Let me open up the screen. Yeah. Okay. So these are the things that we're going to go through today. As you can see here, we will start with knowing what to expect. By the end of this session, I hope that you'll be able to define what active learning is, describe active learning, methods that you can use for online learning, and then I will be introducing to you the 4-step process to make learning active in your courses. And at the end of it, I hope you'll be able to design a lesson using active learning methods. So this is the line up for today's session. We did a bit of introduction, and then we are going to move on to understanding what is active learning. And then we will have active learning in action, which means to say you will be doing some active learning, right? We hope to take a break at 10:30, then coming back with how do we make our learning active, then rethinking some of the learning activities that we have already, and how do we redesign it to make it active, what can you do, and hopefully we can wrap up by 12:45 or even earlier, I hope. Right. Any questions so far? All okay? Okay, all right, good. So let's move on. Right. The first thing I'd like you to do is to scan this QR code. I will put also the link in the chat so that you can go directly from your computer. And I'd like you to answer the question there. First question. So the first question that you see on your screen would be asking you to rank some information there in order. So those information there are some of the common challenges that people will face in online classes. Okay, so over the 2 years of pandemic, all of us have got our experience in teaching online. So what was your experience like, and rank the challenges? Right, I give you 2 minutes to do it. Now we shall look at the results. Okay. Okay, I've got some responses already. Right, can see the, can you see my screen that I'm sharing with you the results from 6 participants? Okay, so from here it seems that the first most common, yeah, is students absent from synchronous online classes. So that's not unusual, yeah. Well, why do you think they're absent most of the time? Any idea, anyone? Why do you think they're absent? You can just type your opinion in the chat. Overslept. Very common, yeah. Any other reasons? wrongly saw the timetable. Sometimes, well, give them the benefit of the doubt, but still, right? How can how can they be a responsible human being when they cannot be a responsible student to come to class with knowing the correct time? Boring. Yeah, Fit One, I agree that at 10, but then at 10 they will see the name there, but then nobody there. Adrian says got other things to do, housework, part-time, whatever. Yep. Can attend last 15 minutes of scheduled classes. Yes, yeah, I do have that kind of students as well. Or half an hour before the class, suddenly they appear out of nowhere, and we have already finished everything. We're just like, you know, discussing discussing the answers or discussing whatever misconceptions they have, but these students just come in, no head, no tail, nothing. And then all they ask me is, Miss, you take attendance already? Yeah, okay, very common. So as what you have said there, you see that it seems like as though that students seem to don't what do you call, they don't prioritize their studies or the lessons over other things that they have. Am I right? I mean, if a student has has more concern or prioritizes his or her studies over other things, then he will not oversleep. He will wake up, make sure that he wakes up on time and attend classes. He will not give excuses that he has to work part-time or do housework. Because if he place his studies first and then only think about working part-time and doing housework and so on, then he wouldn't be missing classes and will arrange whatever other chores that he needs to do only after or before class time. Okay, so the question is, why is student not prioritizing their studies? Okay, yeah, one of you said boring, which is actually the here I see is the common challenges rank number 4, students feeling bored in class. Yeah. Second one that is most common, students not providing response when asked question. Basically, they turn on their computer, they're logged in, and then they continue sleeping. A lot of them are like that, so that's why no responses. Or they are busy doing other things when the lesson is going on. They are on another, you know, another channel, another tab, or on their phone doing something else, and therefore they are not focusing, so they are not providing responses. So again, it goes back to them. Why are they not prioritizing their studies? Students having connectivity issues is a very common problem. Something that is kind of unavoidable. Even we teachers also sometimes will have connectivity issues, but there are certain things that we can do, certain activities that we can do that will circumvent this situation, that even if they have connectivity issue at that time, maybe they can do it later when they have better connection. Okay. Fifth one, student not understanding the content taught. So again, it goes back to them not paying attention in class, right? Why is it that they don't understand? Is it because we pitch it at too high a level? Or is it because that they are not paying attention? Or is it because of the way the activities are done? Is it because of the way the notes are presented to them, the content is presented to them? So there are many reasons as well. You have to look at the whole thing and really reflect on it. I'm not sure whether if it's a normal practice for you or not, but I do recommend to you doing reflective practice every single day. In fact, after every single lesson that you can, yeah, have a little notebook or what. I mean, last time we used to have a teaching plan where we have to write down every single lesson what we do, and there's a column at the end that says remarks. So I used to write down notes at the end of the lesson in the remarks column, a reflection of that particular lesson that I've carried out. So what went well, what didn't go so well, what was wrong with it, you know, how I can make it better the next round, what I managed to cover, what I did not manage to cover, why, and so on. So these are some things that I do in my remarks column, so that I will know what is the issue as I look back before the next semester. If I'm assigned the same course to teach again, right, I will look at it and study what was actually the problem. Is it a problem with too many activities, too much content, or is it because of each activity being too time consuming, or is it because my instructions were not clear, and how I can improve it in the coming semester. So this is something that I always encourage my colleagues to do. Reflect each time after your class. I know sometimes it's difficult. You have back-to-back classes and all. So whenever possible, don't have to write it in long sentences. Just jot down a few points so that we will remember what happened actually. Okay. Students not knowing how to go about their assignment. Interesting. Okay. I think some students, what I've noticed is especially students who are in the foundation and diploma level tend to need a bit more hand holding. You need to actually sit down with them and go step by step with them compared to degree who are more matured. I'm sure many of you can agree with me on that. Yeah. If you have taught the different levels before, you'll notice that those who are in foundation and diploma tend to need more attention than the ones in degree. So what I've tried actually for this one in my last semester was to break down the entire assignment and to make them do bits of it every single week. So so one of the assignments that I did with my students was they need to come up with a portfolio at the end of the semester. So what I did with them was every single week they do a little bit of that portfolio. So they build it every week, and then eventually they have the entire thing that they just need to put it together at the end of the semester. So what I noticed is because it is broken down into chunks, they seem to be able to manage it better. I think probably just from my observation is sometimes students just feel very overwhelmed when they get an assignment. They see like, oh, 50% as in the whole chunk, yeah, and then that's for your subject, and then they have another subject, another 30%, then they see like the whole chunk, and then another subject is like 40% the whole chunk. And to be fair to them, right, sometimes they get these assignments rather around the same time, so they get overwhelmed and they are like kind of like panic, like how do I begin, where do I begin, like, oh, so many things to do, you know. So that's what I think they feel. So that's what I did last semester. I broke it down for them to do it every week, one part for me to see before they actually put it together at the end of the semester, for me to go. I do feedback sessions with them. I will run through with them one more time before they submit the final work to me. So I noticed that by doing that, they are able to do the assignment better. Okay, so you might want to, for those of you who have ranked that, you might want to try that. Students not completing assigned tasks. This one needs a lot of reminders, but also it goes back to the design of our tasks, the design of our activities. And students not having a device, I think that is the last rank. Not so common for us, yeah, but I'm not surprised to have some students as well not having a device. I remember having one student who was doing at that time he was doing A levels, like yeah, A level. He actually had no laptop, yeah, only a phone. And then I said, how do you learn with just a phone? And he told me that he really has no money to buy a laptop. So I said, how are you going to do your assignments and all? Then he said he can. But of course, luckily he had some good friends who are able to kind of help him, because there are some things that you can't really do on your phone because it's so small and there are certain features that are not available. So he did have a friend who helped him out by converting like from Word to PDF and so on. So there are some students who have this problem, but maybe not so common for all of us. So as you can see, it's rank 8. Yeah. Now let's look at the next question. What is your greatest nightmare in online teaching? So I give you 2 minutes to think about it and then to put in your responses. Okay, we have one person who says the recording not processing and goes missing. All right. After like what, 2 hours, 3 hour session, and then the whole thing is not there. Computer suddenly auto shut down. Right. Suddenly lost internet. Need to prepare more materials and activities for students. Some students may feel difficult to study online. Okay, so it may be hard to attract their attention. Preparation for online is different with traditional since we do not have either. I'm not sure. Right. Okay, anything else? No reply when asked questions. Okay. Well, I agree with all that you have said here. Yeah, I think one of my worst nightmare was my computer was like acting a bit cranky. It was actually because of the fan, yeah, that was not working properly, so it keeps on getting stuck. And then it was like horrible because it was MCO and all, we had to work from home, and I had to conduct classes, but then that sound of that fan was so loud, it keeps on getting stuck and stuck and stuck and stuck. So it was so annoying, and that was like that was one of the greatest nightmare because I had to ask IMC for help, but yet because it was the lockdown and it was really tedious, and he has to get the technician to get the hardware fixed, so that was a nightmare to me. no responses from students during class. End of sem, they came and don't understand the syllabus. Oh my God, poor you. All right. Okay, one of the things that are said here, no reply when asked question to the group. What I notice sometimes it's because whenever we ask a question, the students might not have enough thinking time. They might not have enough time to kind of like digest what you're saying and for them to come up with what is it that they don't understand, you know, or even what is it that they understand already. Yeah. So I think sometimes it's because of the insufficient thinking time. Therefore, they cannot really tell also what is it that they understood or did not understand. Yeah. Especially when it comes to teaching online, you notice that when you ask the question, you need to pause longer than usual before you actually get the response. Well, there is connection issue and the delay and so on. So even in a normal classroom setting, in physical classroom face to face, sometimes I also get too excited and I'm also guilty of it. You know, you ask a question and then nobody answers you. Well, to think about it, we have probably been teaching the course, knowing the subject matter so well because we have done it like more than 50 times. But for the students, they are hearing it for the first time. So sometimes we really need to sit back and think about it. Are we giving our students enough thinking time for them to digest the information so that they are able to tell you they understand or they do not understand? Of course, when we ask our students, do you understand? They will say understand. But actually, it's just a normal reaction. It's like when people ask you, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. What one of my students recently told me is, that's the book standard of how we should reply to a person when we ask, how are you? So, which is kind of true, yeah. So that's what they have been taught. Like, do you understand? Yes, I understand. Like, that's the expected answer. But at the deeper level, do they actually really understand? Or do they actually know that they don't understand also? Yeah, maybe they don't even know. So how do we manage this thinking time? How do we give them this thinking time? Of course, we cannot be sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah. So in some of today's activities that I'll be sharing with you, I will be suggesting to you ways that you can allow such thinking time to happen so that the students can tell you actually they understand or they do not understand, and they do not have to what this last person here who gave the feedback saying that no responses from students during class, but end of the sem they comment they don't understand. So that's kind of disappointing, right? Because you thought that you have delivered everything and you ask them and they say they understand, suddenly you get a slap on the face that you didn't understand anything. Okay, so how do we manage all this? Not easy. Sometimes being a teacher, I remember many people say, if you don't know what to do, then just be a teacher lah, you know. So they think that being a teacher is the easiest job of all, but no. I'm sure you can tell many other people it's not an easy job. Yeah, it's really a lot of multitasking, and every day is just a different day every semester. Though you might be teaching the same course, but yet the challenges that you face will be completely different, and that would take you on probably a different direction on how you are going to manage the course. Okay. And I so agree with your my colleague here who says that preparation for online is different from traditional method. Very true. Yeah. that's what happened during the pandemic when everyone was suddenly asked to teach online. And for those, because of the time constraint, basically we didn't have any time at all. It's just overnight turn everything online. But the thing is, teaching online is not taking whatever that you have prepared all this while for your conventional, traditional face-to-face classes and put it online on the LMS. It's actually not like that. Okay, in order for someone or a group of people to come up with an online course that can run well, it takes about 6 months to a year to create that kind of content. So it is not about just turning the content that you have for traditional classes and putting it online. That's not called an online course. Yeah. So how are we supposed to do it? We shall look into some of the ideas today on how do we prepare for it. Yeah. So the other comment that says that we need to prepare more materials and activities. I'm not sure whether is it more or not, but it's just a matter of a different way of doing it. It's not just lecturing like that. Okay, not just talking non-stop. That's when you will end up with this problem that you have here, where everybody says okay, but then at the end of it they don't understand a single thing. So even in traditional physical classes, I also do not encourage you to do long lectures and without any activities, because that has proven to be not effective for students learning in this generation. I know how we all learn. Yeah, I remember sitting through lectures, 3 to 4 hours lectures, where the lecturer can really talk, 3 to 4 hours non-stop. And what I did was just sit down there, copy all the notes, right? Amazing how fast I can write those days. And now I don't think I can write like that anymore. Those were the days. I believe many of you here were probably not sure, probably my age or so, I'm just guessing, would have gone through the same kind of a experience like me. Can you hear me clearly? Because it's I just noticed that my screen here just pop up saying that my connection is unstable. Breaking. Now is it better? It was a bit laggy. Okay. Not too sure why. I'm actually on the cable already. Well, like you say just now, connectivity issue, right? It's also out. It's a big problem, right? Okay. So I'm gonna stop this. Right. Let's get back to our slides here. So that's your perspective just now that I've asked on how do you think you are teaching and how do you think students are learning. But let's look at students' perspectives on their learning. So what does the student say? Students say that in courses that apply teaching and learning activities, almost all students describe adopting a deep approach. A deep approach means an approach that allows them to really like digest and internalize the content, into their head and into their soul, maybe. So it's not a surface kind of an approach where students just like I'm not sure about you, but maybe for me, I'm speaking. If you ask me what I learned in school last time for history or for pendidikan moral, I don't remember anything at all, honestly, because it was just pure memorization, and that's just the surface approach. Right after the exam, right after I finished vomiting everything out on the paper, I threw out everything and that's it. I forgot about it. So that's the surface approach. Okay. And that's the kind of approach that we don't want our students to use. Yeah. We want students to have a deep approach so that they really can connect the things that they learn with their own lives, with what's going on outside in the real world, so that they can continue using that knowledge and skills when they go out to work. So it appears that teaching that provides enough challenges for students and requires active involvement from the students, provide chances for peer support, meaning to say there are activities that students do in groups, they do in teams, okay, where they learn with each other. These are the things that students have an opportunity to use the deep approach in learning. Okay, so it's actually the way the teaching is organized, the way how we organize our activities in our teaching, in our lesson, that plays a role in guiding what actually the students do and can do at the end of it, right? So as an instructor, we should always think about how to actively engage the students and shift the focus to what the student does and should do in order to learn. So think of it this way, yeah. Whenever we go to a class, so-called to teach, the focus is actually more to how do we want the students to learn, not about what we want to teach. Okay, what we want to teach is basically a secondary thing. Okay, it's more about focusing on what the students need to learn, and that's why with the OBE, I'm sure you're all very familiar with OBE already, the outcome based. We always look at the learning outcomes. We do not look at the teaching outcomes. Okay, we look at the learning outcomes. What do we expect the students to be able to do at the end of it? And that should drive what we plan for them to do and what we plan to teach. Okay, so active engagement is the key to student success, and therefore it's important to pay attention to the things that we design for students to do in the classroom. Okay, so what about students' live online learning readiness? We are all ready to teach them online, but are students ready to learn online? What do you think? You're ready to teach? You're there, you turn on your video, turn on your camera, everything all ready, but then nobody turned up for your class. Right? Sometimes it's very disappointing. So student readiness is, or sometimes they're there before you. Oh, you have such highly engaged students. Yeah, that's very good. So sometimes we also need to look at whether the students are ready or not to learn. So we are here to give, right? Are your receivers ready to take or not? We give, but then your receiver not receiving. It cannot happen also. Okay, so what can we do? As teachers, we have to consider different strategies so that students actually can be ready for learning. And what is it that we can do? We can create communities. So collaboration, getting them to work in teams is something that is very good in getting students to be ready. You know, right? Students at this age, yeah, the what you call the peer pressure is very strong. Yeah. Okay. Even like with students deciding on which university they should go to when they finish their SPM or STPM or whatever. Sometimes the decision is because my friend is going there, so I'm going there. My friend is joining this program, so I want I want to follow her and join this program. So the peer support there is really, really essential actually for students to be ready to learn. Especially when it comes to online, it can be quite lonely at times because it's just like you and the computer. But knowing that, hey, my friends are also in this thing, you know, they're in this community, yeah. So they feel like a bit more excited and they're okay, I'm part of this community. I'm kind of sure that some of you know Discord, right? Do you all use Discord? You use Discord? No? One used before, now don't use the. I thought computing students and also lecturers like to use Discord. The students asked you to use long time ago. Yeah. After change the teams. Okay. Right. So Adrian, are you in Discord? Are you an active user? Are you into gaming?
Yeah, in the gaming with friends.
Yeah. So you see, yeah. Just like the other day, I was trying to contact some of my students. And then I said, I was trying to call this student, but I couldn't get him. So I called a friend and I said that is this student the phone number valid or whatever? Then he told me, I'm not sure, miss. I don't have his number, so I don't know whether that number is valid or not. But I can help you to get hold of him and ask him to contact you. I said, huh? But you don't have his number, but you can. So I said, yeah. I know where to find him. I said, where to find him? Yeah. We have this group in Discord, and I know how to get him. He's there. So you see, that kind of community that they have there. And true enough, yeah, that boy managed to get him, and then that student contacted me. So it's that kind of community that we need to create for the students so that they have this team collaborative learning that can take place. Okay, so it's not just online learning. It's not just like always a one-to-one thing, it's not just you learn with the computer and you do some activities on the computer, you answer some questions, MCQ, just tick tock. It's not really like that. Okay, it's a lot about connecting with each other. So we are all part of this open learning community. And as you know, open learning is actually the reason why open learning is created is because they also believe in social learning. And that's why you see in open learning, they have many of these activities, the core activities that they have, like the sharing your files, sharing your thoughts, sharing pictures, and so on, because they believe in social learning. They believe in this peer support when it comes to learning. I personally, I am a social constructivist. Okay, I believe that the knowledge that we learn is socially constructed. Okay, if you just throw me some knowledge and that, yeah, okay, I can create things from that, create meaning from that knowledge that is given to me or that I have managed to find. But then if this particular knowledge can't be used in my life with the people around me, it will seem meaningless. Yeah, okay. So if I can create meaning out of that knowledge and also with the people around me, then I will find that it relates to me better. And when it relates to me better, it relates to me personally, I will find that I have more interest in knowing more about it and also in digesting it. Remember I said about the deep approach. Okay, so that's the meaning of social learning and collaborative learning. So in this sense, the teacher and student communication is very important, of course, yeah. But we have to also remember the student and student communication. So it's not only you must always be actively engaged with the student, knowing what they're doing, but you also need to create opportunities for student and student to interact and to share their knowledge. Okay, so simple things like question and answer thing, which I'm sure all of you are doing, like you always ask your questions, ask your students questions and all. But how about getting your students to ask questions to each other? Okay, all right. So that would probably help them to feel that they are part of this whole learning community and they are not alone in it. Okay, so now next thing is why active learning? Yeah, so we talk about some of the things that we have seen in some of the researches recently about active learning and about learning online. But to begin with, yeah, active learning is not something that is very new, something that has happened for many years ago. But there is this a research that is done by Freeman and his colleagues in 2014 on active learning. Why active learning? So in their research, what they have found, when there is no active learning, okay, basically passive as in they just read notes, the teacher just lecture and lecture and lecture and lecture and lecture. So students are just sitting there, listen, okay. So with this kind of a method, what they have found is 34% of failure rate. And when they compared that with active learning involved in the course that is delivered, the percentage of failure is reduced to 22%. And not only that, the result also indicated an increase of 6% in exam achievement. Okay, so what does that tell us? Yeah, active learning seems to be the way, right, that we want to help us achieve better learning outcomes, right? Our assessment boards just finished. I'm sure all of you have been presenting your CLO achievement and so on, right? So how has it been? Good, bad, very awesome? How high or how low was your failure rate and how well was your CLO achieved? Okay, so we are all striving to have lower failure rate, and of course by lower failure rate doesn't mean to say that you make the exam easier or anything, yeah. 80% ke atas pass, okay. All right, okay. So as we are striving to achieve better learning outcomes, let's look at your students' attention span. And maybe at the same time that we talk about this attention span, we should also think about our own attention span. Yeah. So what does the studies show us? Yeah, the average human attention span in the year 2000 was 13 seconds. Okay, so in 2015, average human attention is only 8 seconds. Yeah, 8 seconds. And that 8 seconds is almost the same as the attention span of a goldfish. You know, goldfish, right? Goldfish, they live in a fish bowl, yeah, and they can stay forever and ever in a fish bowl. Why? Because they cannot remember anything. From one side, they swim over to the other side, and then they turn, they see, oh, it looks like a new place. Let's swim over to that side. Swim. Then again, they look, wow, that looks like a new place. And then, you know, they go back there. Yeah, so that's the kind of attention that they have, yeah. fish. That's why they can stay in a bowl and perhaps an aquarium for the rest of their life. Bihua, yours is worse than a fish, yeah. Oh my god. So now if you look at with the rise of the internet, every one of us are guilty of this, yeah. So the studies here shows that the average attention span of an internet user, all of us are internet users, yeah, is only 3 to 5 seconds. So Pei Huan, you're one of them. 3 to 5 seconds. So now think about it, your students. Do you think your students can sit down and listen to a lecture for 3 hours? Gone were the days when we managed to do it, yeah, last time, right? When we were in universities, we managed to do it, right? Amazing, yeah. But you ask me today, if I were to do that, I don't think I can also. Sometimes sitting through meetings also is like, oh my God, this is like, I'm getting very sleepy. My eyelids are like, very heavy, that kind of feeling, right? So how do we expect our students to sit down quietly and listen to us? So these are probably things that cause your students to be missing in action. Ask them questions, they are not there. They don't answer. Yeah. Then they are already maybe in Facebook, in Instagram, in don't know what games they are playing, that kind of thing. They're somewhere else already. Because they've lost their attention, they're gone. Okay, because that's the only time that they can give you. Yeah. So if you look at the average attention span by generation, we have Gen Y. It's about 8 to 12 seconds. Okay. And we have Gen Z. It's 8 seconds. And your students, they are in which gen? Do you know? Oops. Do you know your students are in which generation? Not too sure. Do you know you're in which generation? We shall see afterwards, yeah. Okay. So in secret. So Gen Y is 8 to 12 seconds, but Gen Z is only 8 seconds, right? So I'd like you to think about this, yeah. Is it actually 8-second attention span or 8-second filter? What is the difference? Is it attention span or is it a filter? Take yourself as an example. When you are looking for some maybe some YouTube videos that you like to use for a certain topic for the course that you are teaching, you will go to YouTube and you watch, right, some of the videos and all. When you watch the videos, first few seconds, not interesting. Next one. Another one, watch a few seconds, not interesting. Next, watch another one. This one maybe. Okay, the speaker is quite convincing. Then you watch a few more seconds. Okay, not too bad. Maybe this one I can use. Then after that, another one you watch. Not so interesting. Yeah. So you are actually practicing filtering. You watch it, if you feel that it's rubbish, I don't want to watch it and I don't want to listen anymore. Pei Huan say fast forward. Exactly, fast forward. Okay, so think carefully about it. Is it really attention span or is it filter? Do you think that your students actually cannot sit down and focus for more than 8 seconds? Or is it because that if they find that it's not interesting, not useful, they don't listen anymore. Because if you say that they only have 8-second attention span, think about it when they are playing games that they are really interested. Think about it when they are watching movies if they are really interested in. They can focus if it's exam is if it's the content that is in the exam. Exactly. So is it because that this 8-second span, or is it because that 8 seconds is used as a filter? Yeah. 8 seconds tell them whether it's out in the exam or not. Okay, if it's in the exam, I listen. If it's not in the exam, I'm not gonna listen. Exactly. So in that 8 seconds, you got to just catch them, you know, make them realize that, hey, this is really important, yeah. I should really listen to this. You got to really like give them that bait. I don't know whether it should be the right word, to make them feel that I should continue listening and I should focus. So to me, it's not really about the attention span, but it's about the filter that they use. That is why if you notice nowadays, right, they have all these YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, TikTok, all these, like, they are very short videos. And even if the videos are very short, yeah, I look at my kids watching all these YouTube shorts and whatever Instagram filters or whatever lah, you know, that they watch. Very fast, you know, they see next one, interesting, or they watch for a while. Like that, next one. So that's the kind of way that they are using. They're just filtering. If you catch my attention, I watch. If you don't catch my attention, bye-bye. Okay? Right. So it's not the attention span, but basically the filter. And what should we do with the filter? Okay, if you're not sure about which generation you are, yeah, or which generation is your student in, maybe you want to look at this table here. Okay, can you identify yourself? Are you able to see yourself, where you are, which generation? Okay, once you have identified yourself already, then can you identify your students? Lost generation. Nalini lost generation already. Oh, then you are either 107 years old or 120 years old now. Are you a Dracula? A vampire? Our students should be Gen Z, right? Our students are in Gen Z now. Yes, for those of you who are teaching postgrads, some of them are Gen Y. Some in degree are also Gen Y, which are working adults coming back for their studies. Yeah, okay. So Adrian, you're Gen Y, you're very young. Huh?
Yeah.
Are you the youngest here?
Yeah, I'm the youngest in my school.
Oh,
Minus students.
I see. Okay. So you notice that your gap and your students' gap is still not wide. After many years of teaching, you will see that your gap is like getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. That's basically how I'm feeling now. Yeah. Okay. So Nalini, you are the Xenials. Oh, awesome. I'm also a Xenial. So if you're a Xenial, it's very interesting, yeah, if you're a Xenial. So last time we used to have Generation X and then the Generation Y, which is the millennial, but not recently anymore. Quite a few years ago, they started with this term called the Xenials. Xenials are very special people. So if you look at the birth start it's actually overlapped with the Gen X. Yeah, you're in between the Gen X and the Gen Y. Okay, so these Xennials are those who started out their life in a very analog manner, and slowly when they grow up, when they are in the university life and work life, they have gotten into the internet and the virtual space, using computer to do things and all. But as they were growing up, things were still very manual. So Xennials will be like people who grew up with the phone, where you have that dial thing, 1, 2, 3, that kind of phone. Yeah, okay. If you show any of your children that kind of phone now, they'll be like, ooh. Yeah, they won't know what kind of thing is that. And then we are also the people who, where the internet age just started. I remember I was in high school. Yeah, those days where you need to dial in to the internet. Yeah, and it's like you have this that that thing. Yeah, after that finally you're connected. Next thing is I hear my grandmother, Michelle, then I will say, okay, give me a while. So I have to disconnect. Then only my grandmother can use the phone. She needs to call her friend. Then after that, put on her phone, then I have to connect again. Those were the days where you can only either be online or on the phone, right? So those are Xennials. Interesting. We are the ones who were born using things in a very manual way, but yet we went to university and then come out to work, and we adapt quite easily, yeah, with the new world, new way of doing things with computers, with the internet, and we don't have much of a problem adapting to it. So consider yourself very lucky if you're a Xennial. You kind of have lived the life which was less complicated, and the life which is a bit more complicated these days. Okay, so you see me being a Xennial, I see my gap getting very big already. So if I were to still continue teaching, the next generation coming up will be Gen Alpha, which is actually my children now. If I stay long enough, I'll probably see these people in university. And just imagine that gap. Okay, and I'm sure you all understand about generation gap. I don't think I have to say much, because all of us have got some kind of generation gap with our parents, our grandparents, where you will say that, why do you think like this, that kind of, it's just the way that we were brought up and the environment that we live and we thrive, that was just different. Okay, so same goes with our students. It's the way that they live. So the generation that we have now, the Gen Y, is it's a generation where McDonald's becomes something that is so common to them. Okay, so to them is, I want this and I want it fast and I want it now, and that's McDonaldization. So that's the kind of students we are dealing with. And in time to come, I don't know, it's going to be different. I think the next generation is going to be really different. So it's good to be aware a little bit which generation you're from and how far you are from the generation that you are teaching, so that you can actually understand also why they are different and why they think like us or work like us. Okay, all right. So let's look at this graph here. Looks familiar to you? Is this familiar? Have you seen this before? Like my SAR. Your SAR should be more like a even curve. But if your SAR is like this, means your students are all very good, yeah. Right. So this graph is quite typically used whenever we talk about student attention. Okay, what can you gather from this about student attention and about time? What kind of conclusion can you draw from this? Need to cover important topic in the beginning. So you only have how many minutes to cover? Large group have short attention. Okay, Pit Huan says 10 to 15. By 40 minutes, students sleep. After that, they wake up. Very few stay till the end. Okay, interesting observation. Tips for exam. Not too bad, not too bad. Very good conclusion. So typically, this is like showing you generally how long is a lesson. Okay, if a lesson is about 40 minutes or so, or maybe about 1 hour, so attention span is usually very high at the beginning, and the highest it can go is only 10-15 minutes. Okay, 10 to 15 minutes. After 10 to 15 minutes, students' attention will start to go down. Okay, and then Adrian says every 40 minutes must give break already. In a way, you're right. Yeah. After 10 to 15 minutes, attention span will, your students' attention will start to go down. And then suddenly at the end, it will go up because Logan said tips for exam. That's also the time where you say, okay, let's take a break. Or okay, class dismissed. Everybody will wake up suddenly. Okay, so that's why at the end there you see it go up a little bit. But then, yeah, this is quite a common graph that you use, yeah, to describe student attention span versus time. So this Wilson and Korn, yeah, they do not buy in, okay, right? They say that attention drops after 10 to 15 minutes claim is not true. So what is it that they are saying? They say that student attention does vary throughout a lecture, but there are more important variables than just time dependency. So they say that yes, no doubt, time, just now we were talking about time, attention span, and time, and so on, right? Yes, no doubt that could be a factor that will affect students' attention. But there are many other things that can also affect students' attention. Okay, so what is it? Says that teachers must do as much as possible to increase students' motivation to pay attention, as well as to try to understand what students are really thinking about during class. So it is about teachers needing to know what's going on in their head, yeah, right? Not just thinking about deliver. So what should we do then? What does active learning mean to you? Can you type in the chat? What does active learning mean to you? Every 15 minutes, ask question. Okay. Okay, not bad. to see if they are alert and pay attention. Okay. So active learning means that you need to keep on checking their understanding, keep on asking them questions. All right, that's to Nalini. What are the rest of you? What does active learning mean to you? Keep involving students in teaching process. Okay, so how do we involve them? After subtopic, play some short online game to check the understanding. Okay, not bad. Okay, good ideas. Okay, so it's basically having because of what we talked about just now, right? 10 to 15 minutes and to break them and then get them to do something, right? Okay, that's good. So active learning actually involves students in doing things and thinking about the things that they are doing. So recently, there's a lot of discussion going around, about the topic on participation and engagement. Okay, does it mean to say when the students participate, means that they do something, means that they are engaged? Another question is, does it mean that if a student sit there quietly and listen to you talk, it means that he is not participating and not engaged? Does it mean that way? Yeah, because here, Bonwell and Eisen, they are the ones who came up with this active learning idea, active learning definition. They say that active learning involves students in doing things and then thinking about the things that they are doing. So it's not just about students participating, whatever, you ask them to do something. Yeah, they might be doing it. But do they know what they are doing or not? That is the part that sometimes is missing. Yeah, we might ask them to play games. Okay. But yeah, they're playing it, okay? We ask them to sit down and do discussion. Yeah, to sit down and do discussion. Okay. But are they really, really thinking about what they are doing? Okay. Right? So that is the thing about active learning. There are two things to it, all right? It's about doing it and then thinking about what they are doing. Students that are engaged in more activities that are just listening, they are doing things like doing dialogues, discussions, debates, writing, problem solving. And all these are actually, I'm sure what you already know, the higher order thinking skills. Sounds familiar to you, right? Higher order thinking skills. Does this look familiar to you? Very sure. It is very, very familiar. You see this night and day, everybody talking about it night and day, right? And where is our focus usually? Where do we want to reach most of the time? Where do we want to focus? Is it the top part or the bottom part? Trauma flashback. Traumatic experience, right? Gabriel bombarded you with a lot of this OBE thing. So where do we want to focus? Is it on the upper or the lower? Where do we hope our students are at? Initially bottom, up, but in the revision, the top part, okay? So basically, we hope that our students are able to have this top three, what we call the higher order thinking skills. But that doesn't mean that the bottom three, they are not important, yeah, because without the bottom three, you cannot build the top three, okay? But then again, if you look at this Edgar Dale's cone of experience, if you look at it, yeah, people generally remember by doing these activities. If they read only, they only remember 10%. If they hear, they remember 20%. But if they see, with some images and videos and all, they remember 30%. If they see and they hear, they remember 50%. If they say and they write it, it's 70%. And if they do it, it's actually 90%. So in Edgar Dale's cone of experience, the focus is very much on the lower one. Okay, and the lower one is what we have said there just now for Bloom's taxonomy. That's the higher order thinking. Okay, so now is there a relationship between this? This is what we call the learning pyramid. Lots of pyramids for you today. Any relationship that you see here? If you look at that tree just now. What are we doing most of the time? If you are doing a lot of lecture, means it's a lot of auditory. So you're expecting your students to only listen. And that is, according to the cone of experience here, is only 20% of what they can probably remember or understand or internalize. However, if you are doing things like some kind of simulation, discussion, and even peer teaching, maybe, okay, then they will be able to be involved more actively and therefore have better retention rate. The center here is the retention rate, yeah, the percentage. Retention as in they can remember the lesson, they can understand fully what they are expected to do. So if you look at this Bloom's taxonomy and this learning pyramid here, do you see any connection, any relationship there? Do you see any relationship between these two? Any relationship between these two pyramids? Anyone? Okay, Pit One says we need to reverse one of it. Yes, that's right. Okay, it's actually the inverse correlation. Yeah, so this is the Bloom's and this is the learning pyramid. So basically, when you just lecture, yeah, that might remember and they might understand. Okay, if they read also, yeah, they might remember and understand. Same goes with the audio visual. It's only at the lower level. But when they start to do all this demonstration, discussion, practice doing and teaching others, this is when they will practice the higher order thinking skills. So in other words, if you look at these Bloom's here, it's the complexity of thought, okay, that goes from the bottom to up, the complexity of thought increases. And the interaction with content and others also increases from the bottom up. Interaction with content and others, if you look at lecture, it's just probably interaction with the content. But if you look at if they're doing discussion, it's the interaction with the peers, interaction with probably people from outside, external stakeholders, interaction with the content as in the books or the internet sources that they get. So it's a lot of interaction going on there. The more interaction going on, the better the retention as well. Okay, so the more complex the thought, The more interaction, the better retention of the material. So now think about your learning activities. Are your learning activities using more complexity of thought? Does your activity force greater interaction with the content and also with the peers and maybe you and maybe the community? Okay, because if it does, then you will see that your student will be able to achieve your learning outcomes better because they can retain the information better, right? So the important thing to do is for us to get them involved and also engaged in the subject. Get them to think about the subject. Get them to do something realistic, especially good if it's doing something that is related to their life, real life experience kind of thing. Yeah, get them to work with others. I know teamwork, group work is very tedious, but this is how it will be. Collaboration and all these are the key in today's world. So they need to learn somewhere how to collaborate and work with others. So it starts with your classroom. And one thing that we often forget is to ask them to reflect. What did you learn from this? Okay, just like I was sharing with you just now at the beginning, reflecting on your teaching practice. That's actually a way to improve ourselves professionally in our teaching profession. Yeah. Similarly, get the students to think about what did they learn from this? Yeah. What is the lesson? How does it connect with what they are going through in their lives? And or maybe how do they see the connection between this particular activity with the activity that they did last week? And maybe perhaps ask them to think about what do you think you can learn more about this? Or what do you think will be the next topic after this? Or what would you be interested to learn more about this particular topic that you have already learned a little bit about? Okay, so that they can see the connection between everything and not just learn things in like random. When you learn things randomly like that, often we don't see any meaning to it. Okay, you need to see the connection. You need to see how it connects to you personally. And that's when you'll find that your students are actively engaged. So think about how to get students thinking about the subject, how to get students doing something realistic with the subject, getting your students working with others in learning the subject. How does teamwork play a part? Getting your students to reflect. How do you put in reflection in your classwork? Okay, and then also I highly encourage you to get students to share and discuss what they have learned, because the lessons that I gather from the lesson from the activity that I do may not be the same as for another person, because we all come from different backgrounds. Okay, and it's through this kind of sharing that we also learn about another perspective better, learn to see things from another person's view. Okay, all right, so do you have any questions? Oh, Shazana keep on getting disconnected. Do you have any questions so far? I think I talked a lot already. No. So very clear about active learning? How to do active learning? Yes. You know how to do active learning already. Awesome. Then class dismissed already. Dismiss for only 15 minutes, then you come back. All right. So so since you say you are clear on what to do, because when you come back, we are going to do active learning in action. All right, we're going to look at active learning in action. where you will be participating in an activity. The activity can actually be used also in your physical sessions with your students. Yeah. So come back in 15 minutes. So I'll see you at 11 again. And then we will start. I will give you the what do you call? What I mean the instructions for the activities before we start. So don't get so excited. Yeah. Okay. So come back at 11 o'clock and then we'll continue from there. So grab some coffee, grab some sandwich or biscuit or bread. And I'll see you back at 11. All right. Okay. See you. Hi, everyone. Are you all back? Okay, great. Sorry, I'm like 3 minutes late because I ran down to see my Vietnamese student who is having their graduation party. They're really partying away, dancing happily because today is also their national day in Vietnam. Okay, right. So welcome back. Let's start, or rather, let's continue. Right. So let's look at what kind of activities are considered active learning activities. So just now, remember, we talked about active learning, and can you remember what is active learning? Can you remember what is active learning? Is it about them playing games? What are the two things that are very crucial in active learning? Anyone can remember? Just like less than half an hour ago. Yeah, practice doing and then what else? 9 seconds memory. Doing and yeah, is teaching others. Okay, but the two important elements in active learning is getting them to do it and then to getting them to do it and to yes, to reflect, to think about the things that they are doing. Okay, so it's getting them to do it and getting them to think about the things that they are doing it. Okay, or to talk about the things that they are doing it. Yeah, so these are the two very important elements in active learning. Now we are going to look at what are considered active learning activities, some of which I'm sure you have used before. Maybe you didn't know that it's active learning, yeah, because the spectrum is really, you can see it's really huge, yeah. It can be from very simple activities to way up to very complex activities. Pausing for reflection, just as simple as pausing for reflection. That's also a kind of active learning technique. Okay, basically just giving, remember I mentioned about giving your students thinking time. If we continue talking and talking and talking non-stop without having time for them to actually think about what they have learned, okay, then they won't be able to continue on. Sometimes they can also experience cognitive overload, too much, yeah. And then by the time they want to sit down and do the activity you ask them to do, they cannot remember anything already because the brain shut down already. Okay, so doing things like pausing for reflection after you have maybe talk about a concept or an idea, then ask them to take 1 minute, okay, to think about what they have learned, and then maybe ask you a question or ask the partner, the friend, a question, okay, or even practicing writing 1 minute paper where you give them 1 minute. Okay, first you ask them to just listen to you, and then after that you ask them to take 1 minute and to write down what they have understood from what you say. Ask them to write it down. And this is when you can do things like think, pair, share. Again, it's about giving students some thinking time, and then they share with a partner, with a friend, and compare what they have written. And then after that, they can do an open class discussion to share about what they have learned. So simple activities like this are also active learning techniques. And of course, you have the more complex and extreme ones where it's experiential learning, where you go on field trips, Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of you, for some of the subjects, you go on like industrial visits, or you go to the hotel, or you visit some companies to learn about their HR, how do they manage their staff, you know, have some kind of a discussion with them and so on. Okay, so those are the more extreme types of active learning activities. So have you used any of these methods before here? Have you tried any of these methods here? Someone mentioned about games just now. So games is actually also an active learning technique. Yes, Pitchin say yes. Yeah, because you do events, right? So I'm sure you have taken your students out on experiential learning before. Okay. Anybody? For those who are teaching business courses, I'm quite sure you have done case studies, right? So these are all the various active learning techniques that you can use. There are many, many more apart from this whole spectrum here. Yeah, this is only just like, I would say a few from the many that are available. Okay, and today you'll be experiencing jigsaw discussion. Have you tried jigsaw discussion before? Jigsaw project, have you tried it before? Nope. Okay, great. So today you're going to experience jigsaw discussion or jigsaw project. And to me, this is actually one of the most effective way for students to be engaged socially, and also for them to reflect at the same time and to deepen their learning about something. Okay, apart from all those, another thing that I strongly recommend, if your course especially is very theoretical based, yeah, you might want to try this called bookend format. It's like bookend, yeah, where you start your lesson by having some set induction activity where you kind of like have a preview of what you're going to teach your students. Okay, and then you do a 10 to 12 minute lecture. Remember our attention span. Okay, so try not to go longer than that. And then after that, you stop. So you can be like talking about maybe subtopic 1, or maybe a concept or an idea or a theory in that 10 to 12 minutes. And then after that, you pause and you ask them to do an activity like think, pair, share, for example. Okay, so you ask them to think about, you can give them a question, okay, or you can ask them to just write down what they have understood from that short lecture. And then they turn to a partner and they share, compare their notes with each other. Oh, I have learned this. So when they see they discuss with their partner, sometimes it's good that, no, I thought I heard this. So it's an opportunity for them to discuss and see whether you hear the right thing, you understood it right or wrongly, or you misinterpret. And that's when they might be able to come up with questions to ask you. Okay, because remember you mentioned something like just now, students are not responding when you ask a question. You ask them understand or not, they say understand, but actually they don't understand. They don't even know that they don't understand sometimes. So having this kind of activities, right, will give them time to really reflect, to really check their own understanding, and then to ask you questions before you move on to part 2 of your lecture. So this can go, on and on, where you do a short lecture for 10 to 12 minutes, and then you do a short activity, whether it's think, pair, share, whether it's write 1 minute just on their own, or whether they do some maybe I'm sure many of you like to do Kahoot to check their understanding. It can be some kind of activity that is slotted in between your lecture. rather than to just lecture until 3 hours. Okay, and then you can do a summary at the end of it. In fact, the summary can also be done as an activity for the student. Instead of you doing the summary, you get the students to summarize what they have learned, and then to sort of like share aloud with each other, you know, with their friends, and see whether they all can conclude the same way or not, or maybe someone else conclude in a different way because they see things from a different perspective, or it could even mean that they have some kind of misconception. Okay, so this bookend format is really useful if you are having a very content heavy type of courses. Yeah. Okay, so these are some of the things that you can do. Just now I said in the intermittent discussion where you have think, pair, share, or note-taking pairs where you compare the notes that you take with each other, your friends, okay? Or a sticky note storm where, you know, sticky notes, right? The post-it notes where you get them to write maybe a question or one word that summarize what they have learned, and then they paste it on the wall. If you are in a physical classroom, of course, you can paste it in a wall, or if you're in a virtual classroom, there are many types of what you call virtual boards that you can use to do post-it notes. Okay. Another one is Sage and Scribe, is where you practice teach others. Okay. So where you have two persons, one will be the one teaching, the other one will be the one writing. So they have heard from you already. So now they act as a teacher to teach another person. So it's basically telling another person what they have understood from your sharing, and then the other person write down. And then after that, they can kind of like exchange their roles and see whether and check and see whether is it the same kind of understanding. Okay, especially when you get the students to teach, so-called teacher, to explain a concept and all, right? That's when they will internalize and understand a concept better. I think all of us would have the same experience as well. When you first teach a course, compared to you teach a course 10 times later, you find that by the time you reach the 10th time, you do not need to refer to anything. It's actually at your fingertips already, because it's really inside you already. So the more you actually teach it, the more you are able to understand a concept better. Okay, so these are some ideas that you can use in between the intermittent discussion that you have in the 3 to 4 minutes here. Depending on your topic, sometimes this 3 to 4 minutes can also be longer than that. This is just a guide for you, okay? Not necessarily 3 to 4 minutes. Sometimes it maybe even 10 minutes if you are doing maybe a large group discussion with the students. Okay, right. So the key elements is, remember the individual thinking time that you must have for the students, and try to encourage interaction with someone. Remember, we talk about collaborative learning, we talk about social learning. Get them to partner up with someone. At the beginning, you might need to assign a partner for them, but after a while, you will see that they know what to do, they know how to find a friend. Okay, and I think sometimes it's also good to encourage them to go and look for a partner themselves. Yeah, and the overall class interaction with the instructor is really important. Making sure that you actually have interaction with each and everyone. Something that is not easy to do, but we must always not forget that we have many students in the class, and especially the ones who are less active, you will need to pay more attention. Okay, so just to share with you an idea that I have used for one of my courses that was done, I think about a year or two ago already. Yeah, this was sometime in end of 2021. Okay, so what I did with this class is I actually used the flipped classroom method. Are you familiar with the flipped classroom method? I think last week's session was on flipped teaching, right? Did you manage to attend it? Yes. Okay, Pete Wan say yes. Nalini, yes. Yes, the rest has attended. Okay, good. So you understand the flip method, right? So this particular course was taught entirely in the flip method. So work is assigned to students a week before we meet for the synchronous session. So they are asked to complete, it depends, a set of questions, or they need to write something, yeah. Typically, this is actually an English grammar class. So most of the pre-class book is a video or an infographic that they need to read through. And then they have this set of questions that they need to answer. So based on their answers, I will then design the activity for the synchronous session. Okay, so first, before I go into the activity for the students, the active learning activities for the students, I will actually clear the misconceptions of the students through short lectures. So I don't really do very long lectures. I mean, I still do short lectures, but the lectures are mainly just to explain the errors and why did the errors happen and how to actually correct them. Okay, so what I will highlight in my short lectures will be based on their answers that they have given. So I will actually look at questions which have got a lot of errors, and I'll pick it up, and then I will explain the concept to them again, okay, and explain why and how is it like that. And then after that, I will give them some questions to try. Okay, so all these are done in quizzes. I think you're quite familiar with quizzes also, right? So this particular function that I'm using is the quizzes with the slides, okay, where I do not need to move back and forth with my PowerPoint slides and my quizzes. So basically, I put my slides, explanation slides in quizzes, and that is followed by the question. Okay, the students will answer the question, which is based on the error that I highlighted. Okay, so this was the problem that they had, and then I taught them, and then after that, I asked them the question again to see whether they really understood or not after I tried to correct them. Okay, so from here, I can also look at my students' attendance at the same time. So some of you mentioned about students logging in, but then not really there, not attending, you know. They might be there, but then when you call their name and answer, they don't answer. So with this, I actually can see them whether they are following my classes or not. And so some of them did that. Actually, they log in, and then after that, they got no responses the whole time. So I will of course then follow up with an email to ask them what's going on. Then after that, they are aware that I'm actually watching them, and subsequently they will be attentive in class already. So this is how I track them, and also to make sure that they are following the lesson and they are really there. Okay, so I can actually see them answering my questions. And immediately also, I will be able to tell whether the students are listening to me or not. So as you can see here, I've tried to clear the misconception, but then still, not everybody is getting it right. Yeah. Only 17 got it right, and 19 still didn't get the answer right. So I know that they still don't get the point. They still don't understand. So this is when I can explain the concept again and make sure that they understand. And then I ask another question to check their understanding again. So this gives me immediate feedback to know whether they really understand and they can manage to achieve the lesson learning outcome or not. Not until the end of the semester, they come and tell me that I don't know what is going on. I don't understand a single thing. Okay? Any questions so far? Any questions? Oh, okay, good. Do I have a sample of what? Of this particular slide that I have here, the quizzes, that flipped classroom. You mean my lesson plan? I do have a lesson plan on it. I can send it to you if you're interested. I can email it to you, okay? Right. Okay, thank you for your email. I will note it down. Let me put down in my to-do list here that I will not forget that day. Okay, I got it down. Okay, great. So since you have no questions, that means it's time for me to ask you questions. Okay, like I mentioned just now, I'm gonna let you try to do this called Jigsaw Group Project, or sometimes it's known as the Jigsaw Discussion. So what are you gonna do? It's okay, if you are this is actually the instructions to explain to you how you're going to deliver this for your student. So each of your students will be a member of a home group. Okay, and each student in the home group will specialize in one aspect of a topic. So for example, if you are teaching your student on a topic like maybe let's say pollution. There are so many types of pollution, right? There's air pollution, noise pollution, water pollution, and so on, right? So if you want all of them to master this topic on pollution, okay, you are requesting everybody to go and find resources and ideas and whatever, okay, regarding pollution. Now, instead of doing that they go on their own, one person go and find air pollution, one person go and find water pollution, one person go and find noise pollution. You are going to put these people into what we call the expert group. Okay, so these people will be put together to master the material, to understand clearly about what is noise pollution, what is water pollution, what is air pollution. Then they return to the home group and to teach their home group members or exchange information with their home group members about that particular aspect of pollution that they found out. And then as a whole, the people in the home group now will have the complete idea of what this what you call pollution is about. Do you get the idea? So it's like a puzzle, like a jigsaw puzzle. So each one of them will bring back information of one part, and then they put it all together in a home group to make it as a whole. Do you get the idea? Yes, no, no, yes. Okay, I actually have put your names into the group, but let me check now, because I see some of you are not here already. Xin, yes, you want to share? Yep, you can share, but I'll try to sort out the members here, the names.
Hey, can I
ahead.
just share voice?
Yep,
bec-
sure,
bec-
sure, sure.
Just to check whether this is what jigsaw group puzzle project is, because I've done something similar in one of my events classes, which is supposed to be an intermediate event subject. But I noticed that their general common knowledge about events is very vague. So I shared this in events marketing class, where they are supposed to come up with matching ideas, event ideas for different clientele, right? But then I noticed that they don't have any ideas about what type of events that they can propose. They keep on going back to just roadshow. So that was a problem I identified. Hence, I come up with a group task that there are 15 students in my class. So I get all of them. I had one session to just introduce or just talk about, different types of events, which is supposed to be something that they have learned previous semester, the different types of events. So what I asked them to do after giving them 3 examples is, and telling them, okay, events industries, blah, 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 how did they make money? What are different types? And I shared 3 types of events. I shared MICE meetings, and then I shared a product launch. Then after that, I shared weddings. So these are the 3 that I shared in general terms. And then I told them, okay, everybody now go back and then take some time. Everybody need to choose one event type. So, and then after that, come back and compile it. And then you need to know everything about that event type. So then I get them to choose first 10 minutes, choose one type of event. So everybody was like scrambling, looking for one. So they came up with a convention, exhibition, blah, 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 car show, everything. There's like a long list of every one item each. So with that, I asked them, okay, go back and explore and know everything about this event type that you have chosen. Then they all went back and did. They all come back with 1 line of description from Google. I almost get a heart attack. So,
Okay.
like, it's like I try to do that. And then after that, I explain in detail of what this is, what this entails, where this normally would be. And then they come back with work then I ask them to compile. So the next session we can just share. Then everybody take their turn to share. But it was in one document. And everybody just shared like a paragraph of description. Yeah, so that was a problem. So I had another session to tell them what is their problem with whatever they have found. And then they still don't understand. Oh, okay, they still, at the end of the day, they just notice, oh, you know what, all the types of events, I concluded 15 of them, all have the common characteristic: gather people, celebration of something. And that's what they found. They still do not get the different types. What is the different characteristic of different types of events? So I don't know how to deal with this problem.
Okay, so you haven't managed to sort it out yet.
Yes, I tried to do this, but then it's just not applicable to the students, because this is not one-off event, one-off problem with this class. It's continuously going like that. It goes in circle with different topics.
Poor thing.
So it's very discouraging.
I'm so sorry to hear about that bad experience.
Can we just change all the students? Maybe that's the solution.
If we could do that, then life would be so different.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing. I can feel the pain sometimes. You plan so much for it, but yet how come students still cannot get it? It's okay. Keep trying. That's all I can say. Keep trying, but maybe think about how to do it in a more structured manner so that the students get it. Maybe you'll be able to take something out of today's session that you can tweak a little bit of how you are doing it, then try it again in the coming semester and see whether it works or not. I'll be happy to know whether it works for you or not. Okay, let me share with you here in this manner to get you just all involved so that maybe you'll be able to understand this better. Can you see my screen now? My Word file? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so now basically there are 8 of you here. I hope I got everybody in, yeah, correct? All right. Do you see your name? If you don't see your name, please let me know. Okay. Right. So there are 8 of you here now, and then I've divided you into group A and group B. So for this particular task now, I'm just going to use today's task as an example so that you will understand clearly what you're supposed to do. You can still see my video, right? Here is the activity. Yep. Okay. So in your home group, there are 4 people now in each home group. Your outcome is here on top, the first one. I want you to create an infographic poster of a curated list of 10 online active learning strategies. So in your home group, this is your outcome. At the end of it, I want to see an infographic poster, and your poster will have to have 10 online active learning strategies. Now, just now I told you there are so many different activities out there. Okay, so in such short period of time that you have here now, but my screen is too small. Let me stop sharing. Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay, now you have very little time now, right? So in order for you to do this quickly, you will need to divide your roles. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can see the question, right? I mean, they can see the outcome, right? Not question, outcome. Okay, so as a home group, at the end of it, yeah, you need to have an infographic poster of 10 online active learning strategies. Okay, but there are so many out there that just the 4 of you in one group to come up with the 10 might be very challenging, okay, in such short period of time. So what I'm going to do is to divide you then into your expert group. Okay, so there are many resources online that you can go to find what do you think is the best online active. I keep on getting my words all stuck. What is the best 10 online active learning strategies that you can use? So in your expert group, you will be given a list already, okay, or rather a link to a website. All you have to do is in your expert group, you need to go through the information on the website and then to decide which 5 do you think is the most suitable activities for your courses. Okay, then you decide on that 5. In that website, there are many. Could be 10, could be 20. So you decide on that 5, and then you bring back this 5 and go back to your home group, and then you talk to each other about the 5 activities that you have. So going back to the group that I give you, so you will go into this block. You will go into this expert group. Okay, this is your expert group. So how do I form this expert group? Basically is the first person in each home group will be expert group 1, A1, B1. A2, B2 will be expert group 2. Expert group 3 will be A3, B3. Expert group 4, it is A4 and B4. Okay, so each expert group here will be tasked to read one website, and then from that one website, you decide on that 5 so-called most suitable active learning activities that you think is good for your course, and then you will bring it back to your home group. So imagine if you are expecting your students to read 4 different books, okay? And then from these 4 different books, they need to summarize the information. So it will be very taxing for one individual student to read all 4 books and then come up with the summary of four books. So instead of expecting every student to do that on their own, you are now actually dividing the job to the team members and get them to be experts in one book. This one, expert group 1 is 1 book, expert group 2 is 2nd book, 3 is 3rd book, expert group 4 is the 4th book. So group 1 here will read book 1 and they become expert of whatever thing that is in book 1, and they look for all the information that they need to look for in book 1. Okay, after they learn very well about book 1 already, they go back to their home group, and then Adrian is group member number 1, right? He will be able to explain the information to the friends, share the information with their friends. And remember just now, when we talk about active learning, teaching others is actually one of the activities that will help to better retain information. So as every one of them will be sort of like teaching others what they have learned in each expert group or from each of the books that they have read. And from there, remember I said about getting them to do and also thinking about what they are doing. You are asking the students to think about, from here you gather 5, 5, 5, 5. So you actually have 20. Now as a group, right, you need to think about from that 20, what is the best 10? So again, there's a lot of thinking that is going on. So it's not just do only, okay, but to think, okay, now I have this 20. So you go through it again and discuss and think and justify which one would make it to the best 10 that you would use in your online class. Are you able to understand the idea now? Is it clearer? Okay, Bit One understand. The rest of you? Okay. Up or down? The rest of you get the idea? Sounds complicated. No idea the rest. Only Bit One gets it. The rest all need to do first. Yes. Okay. I do understand. It may be a bit complicating, okay? But that is why I want you to try it, okay? Try it, and then when you experience it, then you will understand what it actually means and how does it help your students to be actively engaged in whatever topics that you want to teach. Okay, and at the same time, of course, I want you to find out what are the other active learning strategies that you can use. Yeah, so never mind if you still can't really catch the entire idea totally, you just follow along with the instructions as I will be giving it. Okay, right? So I have put you into your home groups. You're able to identify yourself already, right? Just now. Can you remember your home group? Yes, no, yes. Can you remember? Yes, okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to send you into breakout rooms. And when you are sent into your breakout rooms, you immediately go into your expert group already. Okay? Okay? All right. Now, once you are in your expert group, what you need to do is discuss, here yeah, the instructions, discuss the list of activities in the article or website that is assigned to you. Decide on the 5 most suitable learning activities for your online courses. So already I have the link to the website for you. All you need to do is click onto the link, go through the list, and then talk to your partner, okay, in your expert group, and choose 5. So 2 of you choose 5. Okay. Then after that, I will put you into your home group where you will tell your friends about these 5 activities. Okay. Okay. So first part is you go to your expert group first. Then you talk to each other and then shortlist it to 5. Okay. Let me share with you the link, yeah. Okay. Copy the. Have you all used Mural before? Have you all used Mural before? No. Okay, never mind. You can try it this time. Once we expert group decide 5, we leave the expert group. So
Michelle, it says I cannot what? It says cannot reach this page.
you mean the mural?
Huh.
How come? Wait, what's wrong with it? Okay, it says 3 people have access. But if you try this, link directly. Okay, Adrian has a question here. Once we expert group decide 5, we leave the expert group. So stay there, then auto. Yeah. So I will give you time. Yeah. So once time's up, then you come back here, then I will put you into your home group. That's right, Adrian. Okay. So so you just stay and then until
Yes.
I send you out. Also cannot.
I still cannot.
Yeah. But then I see people inside. Fiction is inside.
I cannot do it. I don't know why.
How come?
What am I supposed to do inside there? I mean, I can just see. You can click.
That's where you're supposed to get the link to the websites.
But it's not. Is it there already?
Yeah.
Is a link? Hold on, I just explore a little bit.
I'm not sure. Logeswari and Adrian, can you try maybe using other browser and see? Pei-Shin, are you on campus?
No, I'm not on campus. Oh, I am accessing, I already went into the link.
Yeah, because I see you are in, but then Adrian and Logeswari said they cannot access.
I also cannot access.
Because the two of you are on campus, right? But just now, Shazana, oh no, Shazana is not on campus. Who else is on campus? I'm just wondering whether is it because
I mean,
you enter as a visitor. Yes, Karen.
oh, laptop with link cannot. Then how?
Laptop with link cannot, but you use handphone to scan QR, can. Okay, never mind. If you cannot enter, it's okay. But I will give you the link separately then. If you can't access, then maybe you will need to rely on your group member to put up the what you call the material afterwards. Okay, let me put you into the group first, yeah. Okay, sorry, your partner is not around. So I think I'll let you join room 1, okay? Logus, are you there? Okay. Right, so I will delete room 3. We try room 1. Room 4. Okay. All right. So room 1, we have Adrian and Logeswari and Nalini. So since there are 3 of you in this group, so Logeswari, maybe what you do is you take yourself as 2 also. That means you look at article number 2. Sorry, look at article number 1, not number 1. Okay. Let me share my screen, yeah. Just to explain to you what you will need to do when you get into. So for those of you who are already in, what you call, I see some of you moving here and there, who are already in Mural. Mural is basically a collaborative whiteboard or board that you can use to get people to work together to do discussions and then to present the information and all. Okay, so actually inside here, I also have the instructions already. So like I mentioned just now, your home group, you are supposed to create infographic poster of curated list of 10 online active learning strategies, and you need to include a short description for each strategy, just 1 or 2 sentences to talk about the strategy. Okay, so how are you going to do the infographic poster? You can either use Canva or you can use Pictochart. whichever you are familiar with. You've used Canva before?
Mm-mm.
Have you? I think many of you, have you tried using Canva? Yes? No? Never tried before? Yes? Okay. Or if you want to use PictoChart, either one is also quite straightforward. You can try. Okay. Then after that, you will need to paste your infographic poster over here. So you will need to save the infographic poster as a JPEG or PNG file. Then you save it here. You paste it here. Okay. So that's what you need to do as a home group. But now you are going to start in your expert group. Okay, so what do you need to do as experts? So you need to discuss the list of activities in the article or website assigned to you. Decide on the 5 most suitable active learning activities for your online course. So if you are in expert group 1, you click on this link. If you click on the link, it will open up. Okay, then it will open up. Okay, so for this one, there are 15 here. You choose 5. So this one is expert group 1, which is Adrian, Nalini, and Loges. Okay, so 3 of you choose 5. All right. So expert group 2. Who is this putting things around? Okay, expert group 2. Your link is here. Okay, expert group 3. There is nobody. I closed the group already. So the other one is expert group 4. So expert group 2 is Karen and Pete Huan. And then expert group 4 is Shazana and Pixin. Yeah. Okay, so you click this one. So there's nobody in group 3. So I will give you 10 minutes in your expert group, okay, to discuss on 5 that you think is most suitable for your courses. Remember to have the name of the activity and also the description, just a short description, okay, for your activity. So after 10 minutes, I will send you out of your expert group back into this here, the main room here, okay? Then I will send you to your home group where you'll be given time again to discuss, to talk about what you have learned from the different articles or different websites. And then as a group in your home group, okay, you decide on only 10 and then come up with that infographic. Okay, can understand?
Can understand, but I have no access to the mural.
Never mind, it's okay. I will come to your rescue in a while.
Okay.
Okay, so apart from Loges, Nalini, is it? You also have no access, is it?
Yep.
Okay, so Loges and Nalini has no access. The rest of you can access to mural? Okay, Ken, are you able to click to the assigned article or website? Can also, all right, good. So I will come to your rescue. Don't worry, Loges and Nalini. I will come to your room and help you, okay?
Okay.
All right, okay, so I'm going to open the rooms now and you have 10 minutes, yeah? You can start now. Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay, so actually I'm not too sure why is it that you cannot access, but anyway, I will share with you your article here.
Okay.
I'll give you the link, yeah. Let me paste. Okay, so this is the website. Okay or not? Can access the website?
Okay, can.
Can okay, good, awesome. So now what you all need to do as a group here is to, there are 15 activities there, right? You just need to decide on 5 that you think that is most suitable for your online courses. Okay, remember the name of the activity and also just a short description of the activity, because afterwards when you go back to your home group, you will need to explain the activity to your peers in your group. Okay?
Okay.
Can? All right, yeah? Adrian, okay?
Yes, okay.
Okay, awesome. Good. I will leave this room now and I'll go to the other rooms, yeah? Just drop me a message if you need help. Okay. So you can turn on your mic to discuss with each other, okay? See you later. Hi,
Hi.
are you okay?
Yeah, so what are we supposed to do? We come up with a strategy or what?
No. You read have you got the link to the website?
I only Miro only, I do not get the link.
You are expert group 2. So
Yeah.
you look at the link to expert group 2. So let me share my screen, yeah.
Examples of active learning activities.
Sorry.
Here, because I click on that the expert group 2, then it has another website for the queenschools.ca.
This one. Yep. So
where's the link?
The link is here in Mural. This one. You are expert group 2, so you click on this link.
Wait.
Can you see here?
Don't know why I cannot make the screen small, you know. Suddenly my screen so big, wait.
You use your mouse to scroll up and scroll down, to zoom in and zoom out of the Mural, like this and like this.
Okay, now I go to expert group 2.
Expert group 2, yeah. You click the link. Click the link here.
The yellow one or the green one?
The green one is expert group 2. Yellow is expert group 1.
Yeah, but
the
it's
green
locked,
one,
you know. It's
no,
locked.
you click on open link. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, but
here, this one. Can you look at my screen here? Click on this one.
Lock object.
No, you have to click on. You have to click on the open link here.
The whole circle is
no, it shows that it's blocked.
No, you can click on the link actually.
You click on the link. The circle is locked, but the link is not locked.
Copy paste the link in the chat room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You copy. Okay.
In the chat room, you go to the chat to see the link then.
So you will come to this. You will come to this page here. Okay, Karen. Pei Huan has
Wait.
You got the link?
Yeah, examples of I see already.
Okay, so there are many active learning activities here for large group, small group, and individual. So it's up to you to choose. So if you click large group, then these are all the different ones. So up to you to choose what you think is suitable for your online courses. Okay, so like example, if you think like, post-it parade sounds interesting, so you click on it, and then you'll be able to read more what is Post-it parade. So this is the activity. Okay. So they also tell you, is this adaptable for online? Okay. They give you the ideas and all. So if you are interested in pros and cons grid, okay. So this is okay. This is what you should do. Okay. Is it
Post-it
online?
parade one, how come when I click it, no information come?
You have to scroll down. You have to
Oh.
scroll down. At the bottom,
Wait, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
See.
So from
Yeah.
here, there are many, right? You only need
Mm-mm.
to choose 5 that you think is useful for your courses. So 2 of you discuss which are the 5. Remember the write down the name and also a short description about this activity. And then after that, you will go back to your home group to share about these 5 activities. Okay.
Okay. Basically, I know what it is. For example, Post-it parade, right? Yeah. Can I show it to you my questions? How to share? Let me share my screen.
Okay.
How? Yeah.
At the bottom, there should be a share button.
The more one, is it? Or what?
The bottom of your screen there, there's a beside the chat, there's a share screen.
I think we cannot share because just now when I press the button, it said the host disabled.
Is
button.
it? Oh, okay.
Okay.
I
Host
might need-
disable participant screen sharing.
Let me go and check the setting, yeah. Check the setting. I have to go back to my account. I need to leave the room first, then I'll come back to you. Never mind, you read the website first. I'll come back to you. I need to go back to the main room to edit the setting.
Okay.
All right. Hi, Big Shin. Hi, Big Shin, are you there?
Hi. Okay, hi.
You are
Got so many
alone, I
windows.
noticed.
Yes.
Uh,
But I'm already when I don't have anyone to discuss with me, so I just list down 5 things.
okay.
So yeah,
I'm so sorry what happened to your partner. I think she ran away already.
yeah, I think so. Nobody came in. It's like, okay, never mind. It's okay.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. But you have gotten
Okay.
the 5 already, is it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So then that should be no problem. You can go back. I mean, afterwards you'll be able to go back to your home group to discuss that.
Okay.
Okay, good job.
I
I'll
will
leave
just
you
build
now.
my Canva now to share later.
Okay, you can. All right, that's great. If
Okay.
you're familiar with it already.
Yeah, okay.
Good. All right, I'll see you later.
Okay then.
Okay. Okay, welcome back everyone. I hope you've managed to get that 5 activities. I'm sorry, Karen, I can't seem to get into the button to what you call to allow sharing for the participants. Not sure why. Maybe because when I came back here to adjust it, right, there were no participants here, so I couldn't do it. So maybe at the end of the session, you can show me your questions, okay?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
Okay, so now I believe you have all the 5 activities that you have chosen already. What I'm going to do
Because
next
I
is
have to read up everything, then only I can think of what can be done, you know, because this is something very new, really new to me, really new, you know. So my learning progress is slow, you know. I need to find out what it is first. And somehow this platform also new to me. It's not possible for me to come up with 5 within 10 minutes.
exactly, that is why you actually have other group members together with you to support you in trying to get that 5. So by right, like I said just now, the group become very small. Some people have left, yeah. So it will be good if there are more group members so that you will be able to go through the whole thing and you can have enough time to read through the whole thing and to discuss with each other. Okay, so of course in a real scenario your class won't be like this where students are you know, I don't know why suddenly some disappeared already. So
Yeah, because lunch times.
lunchtime and it's also for some of you is your off day, but
yeah.
very thankfully that some of you still make your time to make it here. Adrian got
Hey Michelle, if we can apply one already, it's called great, I say, because nobody is familiar with it.
Definitely, yeah. So today is actually just to let you try, so you will also understand from a student's perspective, right? What are the challenges that there could be when you are doing it, yeah, as a student, from a student's perspective. And that's one of the reasons why I get you all to be the one doing it, so you understand the kind of challenges that you might face. Okay, so now don't worry if you don't have 5, even if you have 1 also is good enough. Yeah, like I said, my instructions there are given is sort of like a sample for you if you want to use it in your own activity in your own class. So I'm going to put you into your home group. Don't worry if you don't have 10 also, never mind, it's okay. If you have in the end 5 also, it's all right, because this is just let you just practice and try and see what is it like, you know, to do this jigsaw project. Okay, right? Don't stress, yeah.
And also the Canva, I asked students to learn in class before, you know. It takes them 1 hour to browse to, you know, to put in simple things that, you know, 1 hour. No jokes. I asked them to put in marketing strategies in using Canva and create a poster.
Maybe it is their first time doing it.
Yes.
I don't think you would need 1 hour to do it. Am I right?
I mean, to get everybody, you know, involved.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Depends.
Well, like I said, this is actually just a practice. Not like, you know, it's any graded assessment or what. It's just that in this short period of time, we are just going to do it as a practice only. You don't have to make it a very perfect one. If you were to just use the template that is ready in Canva, you can just replace the words and put in your description. It doesn't have to be very fanciful, yeah. Okay, all right. So don't have to be worried that I'm not going to grade you or anything. It's just basically to give you an idea and let you have a feel of what it's like to be doing this kind of activity. Okay. Xin said that she has already started doing it. So how is it going?
Overachiever like that.
No lah. Pei is very efficient. Actually, poor Pei she has like only only herself in the group just now. So let me try to put you into your group. Okay, so now we have Adrian, your home group A, yeah, is Adrian, Karen and Loges, and then home group B is Nalini, Pit Huan, and Pei Xin. Okay, so I'm going to put you into your group. Like I said, it's okay if you don't have 10. If you have 5 or you have 3, it's also okay. Good enough. All right. Okay. So just put it into a very simple, simple infographic. Don't have to be very fanciful. If you don't want to do it in Canva, you just want to do it in PowerPoint and then just save it as a JPEG and share your file, you can also do that. No problem. Okay, just make sure that you save it as a JPEG so that you can actually paste it into Canva, into Mural. All right. Okay, so I'm going to open all rooms again. There are only 2 rooms, 2 home groups, home group 1 and home group A and home group B. And then I'll give you 20 minutes to discuss and also to come up with your infographic. All right, ready? Okay.
We are in group B, yeah.
Yeah, I was in group B.
Home group B. You okay?
Yeah.
Everyone?
But
Yeah.
isn't Karen supposed to be in group A, right?
Karen?
No, I was in group B.
Oh well, I mixed up the wrong person. Sorry.
Okay, never mind. Don't worry. So so you can first discuss and share with whatever that you have gathered from the article that you have read. Doesn't matter if it's just 1 or 2 or 3. Yeah, just share whatever that you have gathered and then decide on maximum is 10. Yeah, maximum is 10. If you can just get 5, it's also fine, no problem. Okay.
The articles you gave us is the same, is it, for all 4 groups? The Nurewa 15 active learning activities?
No, it's not the same.
Oh,
It's
I
not the
see.
same. That's the whole idea of this activity. So as the lecturer, my intention is to get my students to read as many articles. Say, for example, I have 10 articles that I want my students to read. But the thing is, for a student to read all that 10 articles, it's almost impossible. Okay, especially within a short period of time, and if you have many topics to cover and all. And also, as you know, students won't spend all the time reading all these things, right? So in order to make it more interactive and interesting and engaging for the students, you assign them to different articles, get them to read and be an expert of that article and come back here and tell their friends what they have learned from the article. So instead of getting every single person to read 10, like in my session here is getting every one of you to read that 4 articles, I'm just getting each one of you to read 1 and then share. So Nalini, just now you read which one? Is it 1, 2, or 3?
The 1.
1, right? Yeah, you read the 1. So you were in expert group 1. Then Pit Huan, you read
2.
2. Okay, then Pei Xin, you read? Yours is article, I think 4, right?
4.
4, right? Yeah. So you see now, that's the meaning of jigsaw. So all of you are coming together like the jigsaw puzzles to put the information together so that you can come up with sort of like a summary of what you have gathered from all the resources that you were given. You get the idea, Nalini?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great. So I'll leave you now to discuss. Yeah.
Financial accounting, isn't it?
Sorry, yeah.
Maybe can think about write a 1 minute reflection on student learning the financial reporting or financials, learning how do they overcome the stress, fear, to solve the problems.
What does that have to do with this one?
Reflections. I mean, there's 5 choose I mean for our group lah, we have to choose 5 of the.
I think we need to choose 10. What? There's now your side there. What were the
5.
What were the options?
You choose 5. You can choose from case study, complete turn, taking, post-it parade, respond, react, reply, peer review.
So which are the 5 that you choose?
Well, I told her I only choose 1 or 2 because you have to read everything. Then
Okay,
only
so
you
what-
know what it is.
So what are the one or 2 that you have chosen?
1 minute paper or reflection.
Okay, 1 minute paper reflection.
1 minute reflection. I told you that one
Okay.
is easier. 1 minute reflection, you just ask them to write 50 words about what they learn from this lesson. That one easy.
Another one?
Another one, the one that I want to propose is post-it parade, but post-it parade, they have it's not a 1 minute work, because I did it before. Is taking about 1 hour. 1 hour,
Okay.
because you have to come up with a learning outcome, and then you have to explain to students what they need to do, every single item, and then after they go and do it, they find the information, they have to post it online, and then also have to do discussion, see whether correct or not correct, things are like that. This one post-it parade take long time. Maybe case study is easier lah. You come up with like a case study of a company, and then you give the financial statement of this company lah on this case study lah, and ask student, in this case study, this company's performance in financial statement, is that worth to invest share from this company or not? Based on the cash flow, reliability, Can do a can
The
case study lah.
Okay, Karen, the post-it parade, right, is actually used to generate ideas, brainstorming. So it doesn't. I'm not too sure how you did it, but it took 1 hour.
It's not something like post-it parade. I explain to student, this is my learning outcome. For example, I say, in this topic, student must learn the 4 P's in marketing mix. For example, the 4 P's are product, price, place, and promotion. So after they learn what is called the 4 P, right? They need to go down to the shop because it's a physical class, so they go down to a shop, 7-Eleven, find 4 products, 4 prices, 4 promotions, from the place they choose, and then after they find the 4 products, right, they have to take photo and post it.
Okay.
Yeah, my students have done it before, but some photos they post it are not correct lah, so have to give feedback to them lor.
I get what you mean. So maybe I mean that one that you did probably because it involves students going out of the classroom, getting them to take pictures and so on, and that is why it is more time consuming. But the idea of the post-it parade is just generally to make students brainstorm on ideas, so that they can have more, more ideas than just one thing only. So that's the idea of post-it parade. But how you're going to implement it, it really depends on what is your learning outcome. Like for you, I think it's actually a good idea to get students to get out of the classroom and go into shops to see the
Yeah, so they
actual
can
thing.
walk, ma, you know,
Yeah.
they can walk, you know.
So
that would be fantastic.
perhaps let's say if you think that it's time consuming for them to complete during your class time, then you can perhaps do it as an after class work that you set up in maybe open learning, the question and everything, and get them
what
to
else is there?
post it there. Okay.
Adrian, like case study, let's say you ajar the financial accounting or financial statement analysis, you come up with a company ABC lah, and then you post the financial statement of this company, you know, got asset or liability and some other information. Ask the student to analyze lah. In this case, the share is going to go to IPO, worth to buy or not with this kind of background.
Aaron, you are not going to Aiden's topic. You're going into my topic now.
No, I mean, this kind of case study, for example.
Aiden is more into accounting. All this analyzing is more into finance, Karen.
But actually, it's good that all three of you are almost in the same background and discipline. You probably have a lot of ideas to share with each other. So, like I said, don't get stressed out if you don't have 10. It's okay. Even if you have 5, it's also fine. Yeah, as long as at the end of it, you have activities that you think that it is useful for you when you go back to teaching. Okay. All right. So I will leave your room. So are you going to do is anybody doing a Canva infographic or any other methods that you're using?
Just a minute. Aiden, are you able to access to Canva? We are not able to access. Karen?
Your Google Gmail.
Wait, Aiden
Then
is
only you
trying.
can start creating.
Aiden is trying. He's putting hand on his 8 now.
Okay, never mind. If you can't manage to come up with an infographic, then you just use the post-it notes in Mural and you just paste what are the activities that you have. Okay?
Then I post one now because I have already.
Okay, you can just post it there. You post it under home group A, Karen?
Huh?
You are under home group A. You are A. You put inside home group A, there's a box there. I show you.
Wait, mana.
Okay, this one. Here, this one.
Okay. Let me try first. See whether I can post. I copy and paste from my Word.
Then there's this post-it notes here. Actually, when you double click on it, you will get the post-it notes already.
Wait. How come my computer hang? You hang. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
That's why the problem is, sometimes when you're online too long already, I think the computer overheat.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I cannot, my cursor cannot move already. It's harmless.
Oh dear. So maybe any others who can access this, then you can just put your ideas here. See, I created one already for you here. So you can just type in here lah. Okay.
How to put in, Michelle?
You just
copy.
Can you type on the paper? Can you type on the yellow thing here?
The yellow thing. Can.
You try and type something.
Already put in something.
Okay.
Can see or not?
Yep, can.
Okay,
I want you to name the active learning the technique name, not your instructions. Okay. So just now, if you have let's say you say case studies, right? Then you write case studies like this. Case studies like this, and then you type in the description.
Case study.
Okay. So no, I'm giving example only. So I'm not asking you for your instructions. I'm asking you for the name of the active learning strategy.
Case study lah. Put it case study.
And then the description of it. A short one will do. So you can actually edit whatever that I've typed in here already. So this one is I remove, yeah. Too long. Hey, oh. Somebody deleted my paper. Never mind. I'll put in one for you again. Okay. Okay, this is an empty one. So this one that you put in here, right? It is too long. This is actually your instructions for your students, right? What I want is just the name of the activity, like case studies.
Study lor.
Okay, and then you put in your description. What is this about? How do you do this activity? Just a short one.
You already in there, ma.
So yeah, I put for you. So after that, you can choose another color. Okay, then you can put another activity here. You should be able to edit on my paper here. So this one I will remove it because it's not I mean it's your instructions, but it's not the name of the activity. So name of the activity can be 1 minute paper, post-it parade, you know, think fair share. These are the name of the activity. Okay. Right, yeah. So I stop sharing. Okay, so I will leave it to y'all. You still have 8 minutes more. Okay, just try to come up with as many as you can share with each other. Okay. Hello. Welcome back. Wait for a while for the others to join. I think they're coming back slowly. Okay. All right, all back here, yeah. Okay, great. All right, so thank you very much for your contribution and discussion. I hope you had a good one in such a short time, right? Okay, okay, I see that in your group A had some difficulties, I know, because you can't access to Mural. Yeah, it's okay, no worries about it, yeah. Okay, so group B, you have a nice list of activities here. Okay, interesting. Okay. Miss Avenger Hunt. All right. Spotify list. That sounds interesting. Nice one. Okay. Well, we shall look at it in a while to find out a little bit more about this little ones here. But let's get back to my slides. Right, let me put myself back into spotlight. Okay. So we are coming to almost the end of it already. Just want to go through with you the 4 steps in making learning active for your own lesson. You see that there are so many different types of active learning activities out there, right? And some of you, as I listened to your discussion just now, you already know what to do with some of the activities, have some ideas on how to do the activities. I just want to go through with you these 4 steps to making learning active for your students. Okay, the most important thing is at the end of whatever things that we want to do is the learning outcome. Make sure that we know the lesson learning outcome. Not just get too excited, oh, that there's this activity that is so interesting that I want to do. But it has to also tie back to the learning outcome that you want your students to achieve. So be very clear of that before you decide on the active learning method that you want to use. And secondly is knowing the core concepts, the need to know for your students, because there are really so many things that we can learn under the sky. Yeah, what is it that we can actually help the students to achieve within this period of time that they are with us? They are only with us for 12 weeks, right? 1 semester. So what are the need to know? We need to be very sure of that. We can't be expecting them to learn like a lot of things, to cover a lot of things in a short period of time. And then only you select the appropriate activity and the tools that will help you to run the activity. Okay, then only you look at the active learning activities that are available, so many of them. And of course, then the tools, if you are running it online, like how do you create a platform that will allow them to collaborate and put things together, like just now, how I shared Mural with you. Mural is actually something that I used quite often with my students, especially for collaborative work, because they can actually look at each other's progress and look at what they can learn from each other in that one big piece of what you call, whatever you call it, the whiteboard. Okay, and lastly, make sure you state your instructions clearly and in detail so that no one gets lost. If you need to, if it's in an online learning platform, you will definitely need to go into each of the breakout room to check and ensure that the group members know what to do. If they're facing any challenges, then how you can help them to overcome the challenges and to assure them that they are on the right path to doing the activity. Okay, right. So with that, going back to your Mural, I'd like you to rethink of the things that you are doing in your classroom, okay? And then see what kind of active learning activities that you can choose to do with your students in the coming semester. So I have group A here who strongly go by case studies. Yeah, even in their discussions, they were talking about case studies because they are all the business and accounting lecturers where, yes, I understand case studies is something that it's usually used in the business discipline. So the other group, I think there is a mixture of different disciplines. So you come up with very different ideas here, yeah? Maybe can one of you just tell us, I think Spotify list here looks interesting. How is this activity going to be like in your classroom? Can one of you tell us from group B? How does the Spotify list work?
Okay, this is using music. So coming up with of course it has to be learning dependable on in terms of coming up with a list of songs that can tell a story. So using Spotify or using music, that means getting them to be exploring the topic through song list, song lyrics, so it will be more interesting for them rather than the traditional way of reading material. So listening to songs, finding out different genre of maybe either from topics from the song title or the song lyrics to compile up a list of to show understanding, to explain understanding. So it's interesting, but probably a bit hard and maybe not applicable to more theoretical subjects. So it's a little bit more trendy. Subjects that is in trend would probably be, or changes in trend would maybe be applicable. You can use this more applicable to subjects like those.
Interesting. You already gave me an idea of what I could possibly do with my course next semester. Spotify list. I'm actually thinking about the course that I'm teaching next semester will be on English grammar. And you know, in English, we use a lot of songs to teach. And I'm just thinking, this can be fun. Instead of me looking for songs which are, you know, can teach my students on tenses, I think I'm going to ask them to come up with a Spotify list to show me all the tenses.
I use Spotify list I'm not Spotify list as per, but I use YouTube videos for songs and music in the past, and I use it for because I do events, right? I teach events, so I use music for them to tell me the different ambience that they want to create.
Nice.
So that is one of the example that how I implement this.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. What about collaborative annotation? Sounds interesting.
That's also from me.
Okay.
It is a collaboratively give them keywords, then they will expand on the keywords. It's just very similar to online discussion, but collaborative annotation, you give them specific keywords to go and elaborate, and then it's like using a whiteboard or a mural to just input their ideas and also their description or understanding to just form an overall picture. It's more collaborative annotation would probably be more implementable on charts and fill up forms. So you can fill up certain part, then everybody can just like key in their own point of view.
Okay, nice idea. Right. Any one of you want to ask any questions to group home group B, because I have many strategies here? Anyone want to ask any questions? Very quiet because the stomach is growling already. It's very hungry, right? Okay. All right, great job, everyone. Yeah, very interesting. I hope the rest of you, also can have some new ideas or modify your current ideas in how you can use active learning strategies in your classroom, right? So thank you very much for your time today. I hope you are able to define and describe active learning. What are the two key elements of active learning? Can you remember? When you talk about active learning, what are the two key things that must be there? Thinking, okay, right? Before the thinking is about them. Before the thinking is about them. It's about them practicing it, yes, okay. It's about them doing it, and then about thinking. So these two key elements must always be present when we talk about active learning. So when I said it's now, how do you consider a student, whether they participate or are they engaged? Yeah. Does it mean that if they are silent, if they are not engaged? Not necessarily, right? Because if they are thinking about what they are listening to you, and if you can after that make them do something, they are actually practicing active learning. Yeah. So as long as you keep in mind that they must be doing something and they must be thinking about the things that they are doing, then they are actually doing active learning. And there is really a whole spectrum of active learning activities that I've showed you, from simple to complex, from easy to implement to more difficult to implement. The list is just endless. They are all there. All you need to do is to just pick one or two and try it out in your classroom. Of course, the first few times you try it, there may be some challenges, difficulties here and there, but don't give up. Okay, keep trying, tweak and see and reflect, and see how you can actually make small changes and to make it more effective the next round you implement it. It will be great as well if you have a group of lecturers with you, colleagues, who can actually, talk to each other and brainstorm on the challenges that you face, and then share and kind of like talk to each other about it, and then support each other and try and keep trying. If you can't find anyone like that in your department, feel free to look for me. You can always write to me through email. Yeah. And if you need any support from me, any bouncing off ideas or whatever, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. Okay. So I hope you have found today's session useful. Maybe one or two ideas can be used in your coming semester. And well, I'm in sharp at 1 o'clock, at 12:56 now. I wish you a good break. I know many of you are on your break already before the new semester begins. So good luck in implementing active learning strategies in your online classes and also in your physical classes. And do keep in touch. Till then, take good care. Yeah? Bye.